I realized that moving forward is the most powerful component to an entrepreneur that you could ever have embodied in you.
You're listening to Creative Leadership with Heart, a podcast that inspires people to take action and be the leader they were born to be. I'm Coach Rico, and I'm known for coaching and training executives, leaders, founders, and high performers at Fortune 100 businesses, startups, and more. I'm here to answer your questions about leadership and personal development while also asking you questions that can unlock your untapped potential.
An episode of Creative Chutzpah. My name is Leonard Samuels. I have here Rika Nazal and DeAnna Gravillis. DeAnna is the former CEO and founder of Gravillis and founder of Evoke. Hi, DeAnna. Great to have you on with us.
It's so nice to be here.
We're so excited to finally get you on. For the viewers at home, tell us about yourself, how you came to be, a bit more about your creative journey.
Wow. All right. So I'm a New Yorker.
Oh,
funny. I'm
starting out the gates.
I'm a New Yorker, which means a lot, right? I mean that kind of says a lot about my personality, right there. But I moved to Los Angeles in 1996.
Oh, fun year.
And really fun year. And so, like from there, I was representing photographers and enjoyed representing photographers so much. Like that world of like art and representation of who they were versus really what they were doing in terms of artwork, and really matching that up was amazing to me. And I ended up moving into this world of Gravillis Inc. in 2000. So from there, I just ended up feeling way more comfortable too in representation, even more. And then it wasn't until, I think we talked about like 2004 when we really started, 2005, really started pushing into television and film.
Yeah. And how was that transition going from New York? Because New York is not TV film base. It's very music oriented, fashion, like the classic advertising, to come into LA.
Absolutely. Well, moving from New York to Los Angeles, I think having the photographers was great. The music industry was a different music industry then. And that part wasn't as terrible in a financial way of speaking there, as much as it was from really moving Gravillis Inc. right at the time from music to television and film. That was a real arduous task for us. It's like we landed on a different planet. So I think that was a big one.
Wow.
Can I want to take even a little step back and get to know you a little bit before the Gravillis DeAnna that we met. So what was it as a kid or in college, whatever, what was it that made you fall in love with creative? And was there like a moment, a movie, or like something that you saw that you said, like, this is what I want to do forever?
I think really honestly, music was always my thing. I always loved music. I grew up knowing that my middle name came from a Beatles song, it was a very strange thing from a girl in the South Bronx to kind of grow up knowing about, but there was a pride in that, and I knew who the Beatles were, which was really incredible, right? At that, in the 70s, that this Black girl knows who all the Beatles songs. I know them all. So I think that was a big, I knew I was destined to move into creativity. But I don't think it was until I reached my 20s, I think when I was in I want to say like really early 20s. Yeah. When I got in the music industry, and that's when I knew oh yeah, I love this. I'm supposed to be in this world. This is my world. and it just it moved into art so beautifully, right? Especially back then, and artwork and album work, the collages and the murals that were done. I mean, I grew up in the Bronx, we grew up around art all the time, graffiti. Yeah, I guess that's what you want to call that, right? I call it supreme art, right? That is like real artwork to me. So I feel like there's a love for art that I've had out the gate.
Yeah. And what was that first experience? So you said you got into the music industry. What was your first like job? Just so people can get to know like how you came up. Yeah, like in creative, whether it was in music or whatever. What was like
Yeah.
the first thing you did? Were you like a PA or something? What did you do?
My first, I gotta give credit where credit's due. My actual first job was being a runner for Vincent Herbert, who's a producer. I was his runner. I did that job, and I worked like 2 restaurant jobs at the same
wow.
time. That was a lot. That was $50 a week.
Wow.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wait, say that
Yeah.
again so the listeners can hear.
$50 a week. I was a runner, and I did that for a while with him. And then I ended up becoming another runner for KD Sadler, Karen Sadler, who I adore. She really took me in. She was pregnant at the time and had a little one already, and was like, I need you to run. and runners back then, what we did was mainly like videotapes. Do you remember VH tapes? We'd run them from labels to labels to labels to labels, so labels can listen. So a lot of times you had to sit there, and you had to be a very patient person, because you had to wait until they were done.
Yeah.
And time take your recording back. You know what I mean? And it was a little bit of a like, oh, you can leave it here, and you're like, yeah, I can't. Every now and then there was a little bit of a no, you can leave it, and you're like, nah, I got people behind me that aren't gonna let me leave it here. You're like, oh, okay. So I came from that world of like protecting what we know, our information, like, and I gravitated very quickly to how she taught me, how valuable it is to be able to sell content, and to be able to leave with your content as well. I learned that absolutely. And again, she's the one that, Karen Sadler also pushed me into understanding more about the music industry. And because I wanted to get in there, she's like, let's go. And she's the one that really got me my first like internship with Wu-Tang Clan. I was
wow.
his first intern, and she made that happen. Again, another whopping $150 a month. I'm moving up now, though. I'm getting it together. By now my parents are like, "Are you well?" You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? Like, we sent you to premier schools, and you're dealing with what's their name? Wu-Tang? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know they're really probably okay. And she's like, they're from where? They're from what are you doing? Like, it was bizarre, right? I mean, now we all laugh, right? Ha ha ha. Yeah. But back then it was definitely, it was a different job than working on Wall Street. Right? So a very interesting journey to go from being a runner to being at labels. And so I went from Loud Records to Def Jam, from Def Jam to Uptown, from Uptown, which is like going literally from like the pot to the fire, to starting my own company. And that was.
And during those early stages, how would you classify yourself? Were you more of more kept to yourself, internal, or were you just like a very outspoken, like I want this opportunity type of person? How did you navigate through that?
I wouldn't say I was talky. Oh, I want this opportunity. That wasn't really like seen as like a popular thing to do for a woman back then too. But I think that for me, I really kept to myself. I had a few friends. I did not date a bunch of people. I created I created a vortex of, I would never wear lipstick. I mean, that would never happen. I wouldn't even look like a woman in that sense. What you would think was attractive. Like I wasn't trying to be attractive. It wasn't like cleavage and short shorts, and I was not that at all. So immediately people knew where to put me, right? Like running is she knows how to do this. She's doing this really well. But I also knew how to navigate people. And that's where I navigate rooms, navigate in and out.
Yeah. Expand on that. What is navigating people for the viewers at home?
Navigating people. It's interesting.
Yes.
Navigating people means that you are able to see where they're coming from before they get there. And I think honestly, as a woman, you just innately, I think, I'm an only child. I have no big brothers and no big sisters, right? So I think that I innately like understood how to protect myself, but really how to make sure that I was in the right company.
Okay.
Again, it's like it's an interesting thing when you feel like you need protection. Think about that. Like, why would a woman need protection from what? From what would I need protection from? Why? I'm going to go drop off VHS tape to your house. Like, why would I need protection? So I need 5%ers. I need the Nation of Islam to come with me to do that. Like things like that. It's like, yeah, you do. There's some things that you just need protection, and the fact that you need protection, that became a very interesting thing, informational wise, to me, of why I would need. Look at me. Why do you think I would need any type of protection? So it created for me an interesting pathway, though, to create my own business, to not be dependent upon,
That's that East Coast mentality.
Yeah.
You're learning quick.
It's a different world. I grew up in a different time, I think we're seeing some of it now. But I think that, I think a lot of us really, do your job really well. You know what I mean? So well, nobody knows you were there.
Yeah. And as you were growing, what was that moment, that turning point where you said, I'm now just going to bet on myself. I'm going to start something of my own. Was that something that, I know it's not necessarily happens overnight. It's something that just, it stems inside and then it blossoms from there. But was there a turning point where you just woke up the next day and you said, this is it?
This is it. I'm getting
this
out of
is
it.
it.
The music industry, it's always been really good to me. I loved it from the jump. Like I said, I feel in a lot of ways destined to have been in this industry, especially hip hop, at this time. But I really believe that, I think that a big turning point, like when you say because there's so many gems of times that have really, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, it's changed the course of what I've been doing. I'm 54 years old and I've been an entrepreneur since I was 24. So, I technically haven't been getting a paycheck, right, from anyone other than myself for a long time. And again, it does something to you psychologically in terms of being able to move yourself forward. And what does that mean? But I think that there was a time where I got to this place. I was at Uptown and I was sitting at my desk. I was the office manager and the assistant to the CFO then. Her name is Susan Moultrie. And I got to a place where I was like, I just want to start my own company. I'd been wanting to start my own company for so long, but then to watch MCA Records really infuse time, energy, resources into Uptown and all of us, and me watch how we did what we did with that, and then watch Puffy, and then watch Andre, and then, I watched Puffy, Andre, Leor, Russell, all of those are godfathers, of what I am, of what I do. They taught me incredible things that they probably don't know that they taught me, right? But I really feel like the level of being able to see that, hey, I can do this. I can absolutely do this. And you know what? Not only can I do this, but whether I get support from these men or not, I'm still going to go do it. And I did. And I absolutely did. I was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm actually going to like run my own agency because I am done. I am done. I am done dealing with the stories and the people, and I don't want to do this anymore. And, I felt like, again, these were people who really, really made such a mark on my life, such a mark.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful because I think that, you don't really know what it is to go through a tumultuous time in a tumultuous time.
Yeah.
So you've gone in through one, and like you're working in a place that has artists that are not just upset. I'm talking they are carrying armed weapons. And you who, just bought a new pair of Adidas, you know what I mean? You're just like, you're 22 years old, you're young, you're cute, you just want to have a good time. This is not what you signed up for. You're going to have to learn how to navigate people very quickly, who have armed weapons, who don't care about you, who want to go through you. Yeah. Because you're not as important as what they're trying to get to. And you got to be like, dude, am I going to sacrifice my life?
Yeah.
Hip hop, what are you doing?
But now transitioning from the music business, because that is a different beast altogether, 100%. To the different artistry of graphic designers, a bit more docile, ways. But it still does take to go back to the navigating people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Navigating people. Television, film, like so going from, I worked with Kenny, who, at the time was very focused on print, right? And as a master, I would say, actually, of print design, Kenny was able to shift his mindset from music to television, film, in terms of how it was supposed to be done, but did it his way. And that's what Gravillis Inc. is. We supported that. We created a literally infrastructure around that, right? That thinking of television, film, my part in that was to convince people that it's possible. Ooh, magic, right? No, not magic. This is a lot of hard work and a lot of hours of trying to understand what people want. You don't look like these people. You don't act like these people. You don't listen to the same music these people listen to. So where are we connecting? Like, where am I connecting with them to get the work so we can do the work? I've already told you that I considered him a master, right? Yeah. That's my opinion. But now I'm going to have to talk to these people to tell them that he is, and they have no idea how to say the word Gravillis, let alone like, oh, who are you? Yeah. And I think that was a huge undertaking. That was something psychologically that did a lot, to us, but help move the company forward. Yeah. But with much sacrifice. Yeah, much sacrifice.
Yeah, you had this theme, move yourself forward. I want to dig into that a little bit more. So because people listening, what does move yourself forward? Does that mean just continue chasing stuff, continue to get promoted? But what does that mean for you to continue to move something forward?
That's a great question. I love that. It's very evoke, move it forward. I say move it forward a lot. Move it forward to me means that as an entrepreneur, you have a lot of projects. You have a lot of, you could have a lot of companies. You have a lot of things you want to do. But there's only so much time in the day. And every day is precious, which is why you hear a lot of entrepreneurs, we wake up very early in the morning. We wake up early because we have an anticipation. We are setting our intentions of what we want to do in the day. If you do not set those intentions, if you do not see that it's an important attribute for you to not just show gratitude in the morning, you gotta show gratitude the whole day,
Yeah.
And like, what does it mean for you to be able to move something forward? Now, it can only move forward with love and gratitude and the utmost care. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. I've had 2 children. What you think we threw them in a crib and was like, good luck, like what are these things that we're doing to move these things forward? And a lot of times we don't know what to do to move them forward. And that's why Evoke became so important, because I realized that I was a part, and still am a part, of a lot of people who are struggling to move so many things forward. I'm not just talking about wellness moving forward. I'm talking about your passion, waking up in the morning type of like, what's moving you forward? So today, you're looking at today like a whole new brand day, a brand new one for you. Like, how are you doing that? The only way you can is to move it forward. Or let's just kill what happened yesterday, not talk about it. But understand it's possible we can make the same mistakes that we did yesterday. We can make them again today. So instead, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's move right through that mother. Let's go. Let's go. If it's worth it, let's move forward. If it's not, I'll shoot it with you. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get rid of that whole idea, that whole brand, that whole thing, But let's, and I think Evoke really being that, we're that catalyst, we're that weapon you need to really move that idea forward, to really make a difference of what it is it means to develop an idea and then design it, right? Make it able to walk and move and act like it's supposed to. But where are you defining where it's going to live? How is it going to live so that it can be legendary? Those are the things that are really important to me now more than ever. After selling Gravillis, I realized that, I sold the company to Kenny. Let's just be clear about that. I didn't sell it to some random person. But even in that, right? Let's think about that, right? Not an entrepreneur, but an artist. But in selling Gravillis, I realized that moving forward is the most powerful component to an entrepreneur that you could ever have embodied in you. And I'm so proud that I was born with that. I know I was born with it. And I feel confident about that. You know what I mean? It's like, I might have to be confident about some things, but oh boy, am I confident that I'm an entrepreneur that was born, literally born from cotton fields in this country, and was able to not just make millions of dollars for a design agency. It's beyond Gravillis, right? It's beyond that. We sold that. This is bigger. This is thinking about nations. This is global. This is like getting out of our box of like who we think we are, and joining people who actually want to do something on the planet to make a difference. And that's our 5, the entrepreneurs, right? The venture capitalists, the artists, the innovators. Those are the ones.
And for the artists and the emerging artists and existing artists already out there, what is Evoke? Great transition.
I know. Oh man, I'm messing you guys up all over.
No, you're all good.
Okay. So, well, I'm excited.
Now we're in it. Now we're right into the heart of it, the meat.
There's so much editing. These poor editors. God bless you. Anyway, but I'm excited. I'm so excited to tell you about Evoke. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Evoke Inc. is an agency that specializes in working with our 5 right? We mentioned them. Our five are the entrepreneurs, the venture capitalists, the artists, and the innovators, and the producers. And what we're really looking at is those five group of people creating an actual game plan, an actual market plan for them to take their actual projects forward. So Evoke is the agency that helps you move your project forward, as opposed to you looking at your project while you're in the project. We're the ones that come to you before you start the project. We're the pre-marketing team, which means something interesting, because we don't say pre-marketing very much. And that's something I really want to throw out there more, because pre-marketing, I believe, is going to help us save a lot of time and a lot of energy and a whole lot of cash. Being able to, let me use this as an example. Getting married, right? I got married a long time ago, and I got divorced not that long ago. So I know, 25 years, you kind of, you know a lot, right? So I did not have a wedding planner. How many people do you know actually have wedding planners? You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Evoke is saying, we understand that you know how to get married, right? We know that you know how to plan it all. But what we're saying is that we've planned so many weddings, and we have seen so many divorces, right? And we've seen so many babies born. Like, that's how we are at Evoke. Like, we've seen it all. Like, we don't need to go through the process at HBO to understand how they work. We know how they work. We know how they plan, right? We know how Amazon plans. So we know how all the studios plan. We understand their actual thinking of planning.
Yeah. You make it tangible for the client.
Exactly. Yeah. But also, I think that we also create a way, Evoke is the agency that creates a pathway for you to not only create this market plan so that you can move the project forward, but we're doing the research. We're doing the capital analysis, as well as we're doing all the identity. We're making it look and smell and walk and talk the way it's supposed to, so that when you do, and when I say supposed to, that's the supposed to from the CEO who bought the project to us in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that passion is that brought that through, we've got to be able to squeeze that passion out to be able to be an actual tangible form. It's great you're passionate about your project. And we're so happy that you don't think this is a hobby,
Yes, that's where it gets confused, is some people just, it's just a phase for some.
I have something to say about that. I always have to say that. If you're not willing to spend $5,000 on your project, you have a hobby.
Ooh, yeah.
Keep it a hobby. You should keep it a hobby. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about, do you want to spend $5,000?
Yeah.
$1,000. If you're willing, there's things I will spend $5,000 for at the drop of a hat. At the drop of a hat. You just know, oh my gosh. Yeah. Absolutely. If you're not willing to put down $5,000 cash, if you're not willing to put that down, you should let it go, because you're really not in it. You're really not in it. A real entrepreneur, $5,000 is like saying $5.
That's like, it goes like
it's
that.
Like $5. Like, you know how
that's water in the desert.
What? You're like, I'll take a chance on that,
Yeah.
But will you take a chance on you? Will you take a chance on you? Will you take a chance on you being the one to invest $5,000 into yourself, to say, I need a discovery. I need a brand discovery. I need absolutely a brand review. Tell me, what is this mother that I thought of? Like, what is this thing? Does it make sense? Like, if it makes sense, can you show me how it makes sense? Can you give me some logo ideas? Can you point me in the right direction? So can you tell me how much I should be paying to have my logo done?
So
Those are the
let
things.
me give you a hypothetical. Let's say I'm an illustrator and I want to make my own comic book, but I wanted to pitch it to Netflix. I have all these great dreams and visions for it. Can I come to you as being like average Joe Schmo with big dreams?
I don't know why not. I mean, absolutely. I mean, like there is a vetting process. Is this a friend of
Yeah.
I know, right? Is this a friend of yours?
Yeah.
I think that, for me, I absolutely right now,
Yeah.
I am 150% excited about being creatives.
Mhm.
Imagine I worked with like Kenny and a team,
Yeah.
amazing, including our very own here, Leonard.
Oh yes, yes,
Of
yes.
amazing designers. I love the world of design. Uh,
Yeah.
I love the world of art. You know that, but this world of entrepreneurs and producers and venture capitalists
Yeah.
and artists and innovators, like this is becoming more of my world. And the I think that where I really want to go is meeting more people who want to kind of come into that world,
Yeah.
like who are artists who understand I'm an artist, but I'm here to start something. What am I starting? Where's my passion?
Yeah.
What I'm doing? Maybe I'm making money being an artist, but you do understand that money is not where your passion is really fulfilled. It's really for me and our team at Evoke, we really believe that it's your wellness,
Hmm.
your full wellness, right? And again, some of us, right, run multi-million-dollar companies. Are we well
Yeah.
enough to run a multi-million-dollar company? There's a
Yeah.
bunch of people running,
Yeah.
getting way more,
And you
way
know what? On top of the multi-million dollar companies, what a lot of people don't realize when you're running a company, the more money you make, the more money you spend
more. Oh yeah,
because you're constantly investing it
you
back
have
in.
you have to, and it goes
Yeah.
right back. It should, right, go
Yeah.
right back into your people, your company.
Yeah.
Like that's where it should go. That's where
Mhm.
my heart always is. Again, so your wellness, being able to meet your passion so that you can have financial freedom. The passion and the wellness have got to meet up, right? You
Yeah.
got to have that. And I think that, the more we see real entrepreneurs um, who are looking at wellness and their lifestyle, because it's a lifestyle, right? We're talking about a lifestyle of wellness. And it should be at any financial base that you say it is, right?
Yeah.
So if I told you I want to be a billionaire, right? And you're like, oh wow, okay, you're not. Okay, you need way more time because you're not there yet, And I'd be like, oh, okay, but that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna like just look at that as a goal. What kind of wellness, what kind of lifestyle are you having to go and like go do that, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to saying, hey, what's your passion? What do you care about? What's waking you up in the morning? Like what is that thing? And don't tell me it's that, tall, dark, and handsome thing. You know what I mean? Like that's
You
like,
know, I was at South by Southwest this year, and there's a lot of grassroots filmmakers and producers and everybody that's just trying to carve their own path. That is evoke something for them to come to you
absolutely.
and say like, "Hey, I want to pitch this to Paramount or Sony or whatever the case is." And
This is what we want. This is
okay,
exactly what we want. We want the script, right?
okay,
We want the script. We want you to have not spent all of your money, right? Like, this is where Evoke is coming from. We
okay,
want you to have not spent all the money yet. Because the idea here is before you even ask for money, right, from anyone, let's see what you got.
yeah.
See what
They
you
can
got.
at least have a consultation with you.
100%. Well,
Okay,
I think that the consultation, what that does, this is what the consultation gets, right?
yeah,
It gets you to leave the room at the end of the sessions, because we have a few sessions of this, but the idea here is that you're leaving understanding that I have a brilliant idea.
yeah,
And this idea, I not only understand and have done now all the research, because I
hmm
now have it here, but I understand the capital. So there is no Netflix, Amazon, Warner Brothers, Disney, Apple, anybody telling you anything. You're literally like, hey, these are the numbers, right? Like, I've already done all of my social media numbers as well. And we've already planned the social media rollout. We've done everything. This is the number we want to actually move this forward. Does this make sense to you now? That's a different conversation than begging somebody at Sundance, which is great too, by the way, because I would love to go to Sundance and be there and actually showcase a new piece of artwork in any type of way, whether it was a TV show or a film, or a documentary. But that's what we do. Yes, we're the ones that want to be behind the ones that are going to be legendary. How do we know that they're legendary?
Yeah, because it's a lot of investment into new artists.
It's so much money.
I would say, I don't know, DeAnna. If I came and I had everything where it needs to be, I would want to feel comfortable and say, can we have a consultation? I want to expand my work to here's everything I've done in my background. I want to make sure that you make sure that everybody's heard that comes to you.
It has to be. Oh, the ideas though, let's be clear.
Yeah.
We want to do that to the ideas that we believe are legendary.
Yeah.
Projects that can move forward beyond my time, right? It's going to outlive me. That's what I want. What's going to outlive me? What is that thing? What you got? What you got? And is it something that is good enough even where it's going to propel a change in our economy, in our lifestyle?
Yeah.
How we raise our children.
We're in a new era. This is it.
This is it. These are the times. I've been mulling this idea around about starting a nonprofit in Seattle, really based on kids who are 16 to 25 who are entrepreneurs and don't have support. And I think that Evoke and me, we make a great team in terms of really being able to help people move their projects forward. But this group of people, think about it, 16 to 25, nice group of kids. I don't care if they're in school. I don't care if they live with mom and dad or auntie. I don't care if they're living on the floor. I don't care where they're doing, whatever they're doing. If they have a project, if they have something that's worth it, if they feel it's really worth it, that can move forward, let's see what it is, right?
Yeah. But I have a question. What about the people that are beyond 25, like myself?
Oh, you're so funny.
But let's go back. I want to go back to that because 16 to 25, that's where, because you get your life experience, but 16 to 25 is where you're starting to take that life experience and then express it in certain ways. When you get to 30, you have your perspective of the world, and now you're just trying to get your voice out. But 16 to 25, you're still figuring it out, right?
I have some theories. I have a 25-year-old. She's almost 25 years old now. And watching the ages and watching myself, I strongly advise us all to really watch these particular kids who are in their 20s right now. The reason why is because my daughter, who is now almost 25, she grew up with an iPhone. She grew up with an iPhone. She really did. I taught her how to use it, and I didn't even know how to use it yet. I just got off a Palm Pilot. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because there's a connection between these particular children who are in their 20s, 20s, and these kids that are now in their 40s. Because now I am in my 50s, right? So think about this. I just told you my daughter got an iPhone, right? When she was, how old was she? Was she 9 years old? They're giving out iPhones to kids way younger than 9. Yeah. I mean, I was pretty revolutionary, right? Think about it. Wow, you give me I was a bad parent. I was
like the cereal boxes now, right? You just empty it out and you're like, a 6S. I don't want this.
I did draw a line with Facebook. I was like, there's no Facebook to you at 13. She's got an iPhone. Like she's got it, you know what I mean? She's got it.
Yeah, the future is moving faster.
It was really moving faster. And let me tell you, this child, I think to this day, I think maybe Bianca, maybe she's lost her iPhone maybe twice in 25 years. Right. And she's had the phone since she was 9. Right. So you're looking at a different type of a child is what I'm saying. And this one, this was a Black girl. So, you know, she's below the line. Right. We're not really talking about my Bianca. Right. We're talking, and she's one of the privileged little ones with a phone. Right? We're talking about a demographic of women now and men in their 20s who have ideas that you can no longer just brush those away. And if we do, I believe we're foolish. I really do. I really do. I think that it's a foolish time for you to think that these kids in their 20s, now that I'm in my 50s, I just feel like Evoke, it's the time for us.
Don't count them out. They have a lot to give.
They really do. And no, they have a lot to learn. They have a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn too. It's not just to give, but they have a lot to learn. But in learning, they're also giving. You know, because we're seeing what it is that their passion is attached to, that we can actually navigate them. Don't hate them.
Oh, I brought it around full circle. You must be in marketing. It's you.
Well, I mean, it's like we talked about it before. Like there were great eras before, but this is almost like the golden era of creativity. Because you have access to so much more, right? When I was in high school editing, we talked about this before, Leonard, I had to get 2 VCRs because I couldn't afford a reel-to-reel and all that. So I had 2 VCRs editing. Now kids can pull out their pocket, grab CapCut, which is free, and edit like all these things. So like it's the golden era. And you're right, DeAnna, if we don't support and help them figure it out and make something of it, it could just go to waste. They could decide to do something else. Like, we need to learn from this creativity.
You're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. We're going to lose these 20-year-olds, and we don't want to lose them. Like, I mean, again, look at the 40-year-olds. Look at the 40-year-olds. Look at the 50-year-olds. I'm in the 50s. Look at us. Look at where we're at. Look at the 60-year-olds. I'm just saying that, like, there's something to say about right now, this demographic of 16 to 25. If we can do anything to right now. And again, we're not talking about, we're not talking about just underprivileged people. I think underprivileged people, we all have to be there and including in that. And that's like out the gate. Like that's ridiculous. But I'm talking about, let's have a look at different nations, different nationalities, different ideas that can actually move us forward, our lifestyle forward.
Yeah. And that was one of the other things I was going to ask you about, was just how important has diversity been in your profession?
Oh man, super.
Oh man.
You know that, like, I mean, I told someone the other day that I think that we might be the only Black-owned, woman-owned, Marvel-approved agency. And it dawned on me that, like, oh my gosh, how is it 2024? Are you kidding?
And I'm going to staple you saying Black-owned, by the way. BET is a Black company. You guys, if anybody that doesn't know, I used to work at Gravillis, and Gravillis is incredibly diverse, and you guys just have a flair on yourselves that you guys just have the vibe. You pass the vibe check. Your artwork passes the vibe check.
I honestly, I gotta say that, like, the design team is
stellar.
We have an amazing design team at Gravillis. I believe that no matter what, the Gravillis Inc. team has got to be considered, when it comes for projects that you're feeling like, oh wow, this is too much, or they're too expensive, or or maybe they can't handle this.
Yeah.
That's when we blow you out.
And I will say this, just as an artist, this is my artist statement. You guys have a very particular style. When I came in, my style was completely different. I had just a very different polished style. And the only way that I was able to keep in tow with you guys is that I had to come to terms that I will never have your style. I can only mold my style to then have reflections of your style, because you're hiring me for this particular skill set that I have. You already do what you do.
I'm going to tell you something really interesting about a little Gravillis sauce here.
Uh-oh.
Sauce. Well, this
is the ink cleared? I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
It's all dry.
It's all dry. It's all good. I mean, it really is all good, right?
Yeah.
I think that the what I'm really coming across here is that the idea of building a company and building something that had all intentions of it being legendary. As the entrepreneur, you know, along with Kenny, I felt like this pushing the envelope forward in terms of who he is, from music to television and film, it was horrible. I mean, it wasn't an easy, like, you know, it's like, it wasn't easy. This man was moving into an industry that people didn't accept what he looked like.
It's the growing pains of it.
Yeah, and I think that we really sacrifice ourselves so much, right? But I think that when you start looking at how it is you can mentally get yourself to that place, we built the place around where Kenny was at, where he, and it was such a beautiful creative space that nobody, I would never, right, allow anyone to interrupt that, because that means that you shouldn't be in the space. And and that's how that was. So we grew the people who had to grow into, oh, I may have my own actual design skills and understanding of what I'm doing and who I am as a designer. And just so I don't lose my soul, right, I'm going to make sure I keep doing that. But I'm going to go do this job for HBO Max.
Well, you guys have etched your name, Gravillis, into the history of this industry. So I'm very proud that I could play a very small role in being part of it. I know we're coming up on time, but I also wanted to ask you a fun question.
Oh, fun!
Is there anything? Is there anything that anybody that does not know you would be shocked to find out, or if you have like a guilty pleasure?
A guilty pleasure. Oh, wow. That's a good one. Someone would be shocked to find out about me?
Yeah, if they didn't know you.
If somebody didn't know me.
Yeah.
Shocked to find out. I don't know. I mean, there's so many.
This is the gotcha question, I guess.
Well, I have it, but you know, it's just how you say it.
Yeah.
I could be safe. Let's be safe.
Okay.
We'll do a cut too. Maybe you'll have me back on the show and I'll reveal more about what it is. No, I would say that somebody doesn't know how much I enjoy.
The suspense is killing me, by the way.
Well,
you should work on reality show programming. Go ahead.
Personal. I just feel like it's super personal.
Wow.
Okay, well, here it goes.
Okay.
I still have stuffed animals on my bed that I will absolutely cuddle up with a pint of ice cream.
Right on.
I'd tell you the brand, but that's just...
Yeah, that's too personal. Can we know what the animal is?
Oh, there's a couple of elephants. There's oh my God, my favorite one is Mr. Ralph.
Mr. Ralph. And this is the security we were talking about earlier from
the polar bear
days. Yeah.
Exactly. He's a polar bear that I'm very fond of.
Yeah.
I do like my bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's a good place.
One more fun one. So when you're not working, when you're not doing those things, what do you do for fun?
Oh my gosh. Movies. Movies a big one. I like to go out, and I love music. So anytime I can go out, listen to music, jazz. I love to go dancing. I love, it's interesting. I love being outdoors more than I thought I did. That's something I've seen the last few years.
Yeah.
I definitely love being outside. I love the beach. I really like, I'm not a big jogger, but I will walk my ass off like New Yorker style.
Yeah.
Just like you like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Just
Yeah. For someone that's in LA, as long as you have the leisure wear, you're fine. You could just we only need to look like we're doing it.
Right? Your Uber app or your Lyft app.
And if you could hold a clipboard while you're doing it, people would be like, she's going places.
She's doing it. There's DeAnna. Oh, this has been great, you guys.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being on. We'll definitely hold you to that, to coming back.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to, I think, a lot of the things that we wanted to get to. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. And thank you, Leonard, for setting this up and leading us through it.
Yeah, of course. Well, Rico, do you want to say the catchphrase on this one? I started it. All right. Well, it takes chutzpah to be creative. And so thank you, DeAnna, for coming on board. Rico, our co-host for the episode. This has been another episode of Creative Chutzpah.
Yes, thank you.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Creative Leadership with Heart. If you enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe. If you're ready to make huge, lasting change in your life, then what are you waiting for? What will your life look like if you took action today? What would it look like if you didn't? If you're serious and you're ready, book your free strategy session today and let's make your future a reality.